Hey, it's here and it's early. I'm pretty sure you guys know what opening a box looks like. Here it comes. Are you ready? Hey, looky there. Okay, now let's get this. Yep. I would say that's come undone. Okie doke. Here we go. Alright. What do we know? We know it's not a kid scale guitar. Let's try this. So we're not the 3/4 scale. We're like probably like a parlor guitar. And I will tell you there are some distinct similarities just in the machine heads themselves. So a real quick overview. We have a bridge, and it is solid, and it has been on there for some time. Probably original? I don't know. We'll see. Decal, as I thought. Is this silk screen? It's probably I wouldn't think it's silk screened. More maybe just a stencil here. That is just, you can feel it where it's raised up. Water slide decal perhaps. It's got an edge like a decal. And wow, that's something. This, okay, well that fits nicely in there. I don't see a nut. Okay, we'll check with Jesse just to make sure we're not missing anything. There is a teeny tiny bit of relief right in the middle there. So these are contacting more than anything else. So, right, no nut. That looks to be, this is a single piece neck. It looks like it. Can't quite tell if that's, it's hard to distinguish between the glue line and the paint line, and I'm gonna guess that's just a paint line. It looks like there might, we'll have to take a look at that again. Now, here, let's do this. Well, they turn. That one's bent. That one is tight. I don't see any separations. There's a little edge right there. Yep, that's loose right there. Loose there as well. That sticks out a little bit there. This is, you can, yeah, this whole thing is loose. This neck's basically held on by this, by the fingerboard extension, because I can wiggle this back and forth. In fact, you know what? I bet this will push off. We might not even have to steam that because this whole thing wiggles back and forth. So we might not even have to steam it. We might just be able to pop it off with the little jig that I've made. So, alright, that is the macro look. Now we're going to do the micro look and take a better look and see what we have here. First thing I want to show you is this. I've never seen anything like this. This is the bridge, and for the saddle, if I didn't know any better, I would say that that saddle is made of fret wire. It's definitely metal. I think that's probably fret wire. And so here, maybe can't see if I can get enough glare on there. You can see that curved edge right there, and then there's a odd kind of angled area right there, and you can feel where that part is curved away, ostensibly to give it a contact area on the ends. But who knows? Alright, headstock. There's no decal. It doesn't look like there's been a decal on there. I mean, I can't see a lot. I can't see any residue on there. I mean, who knows? So that's the front. This is the one that's bent. You can just feel it when you turn it. It's bent. Let's turn it here on this side. It's got a couple of nice dings right up around in there. It's got all the buttons. Now, there's something going on with the finish. Yeah, we'll look at that a little bit later. Let's look at these. These have not moved in some time. This one's bent a little bit. You can just feel them when they turn. It kind of goes wow, wow. This one's definitely bent, and it looks as if it's bent at the part that goes into the button. So that's a dangerous part right there, because I don't know how fractured that is. If it is fractured, if it's bent, it's already compromised, and it would just take, you know, next to nothing to fracture that out the rest of the way. Now they all turn. They turn with, they're not smooth turning. We are certainly spoiled in this day and age with the super nice turning machines that we get. But they function. I don't see any of the gears. Nothing's stripped out. There's nothing stripped here. There's not like a groove in the gears there. All the screws are there. That's good. Let's go back over to this side. I got a chip there. I got a fairly recent chip there. So let's move on to here. There is no nut here, and I will see if he had a nut, if he got it when he bought it, because I found the original shipping or the original listing photos for it over on Reverb, and that had a nut, and it had that slide, I don't know what you call it, I'm sure there's a term for it. There's a metal nut cover where you can just slip it under there, retune it up, and then you can play slide really easy, like Hawaiian style. Let's start coming down this neck. First fret marker on number 3. That's an interesting pattern. That's not... It's not just painted on. So I don't know if they used some sort, if it's paint mixed with maybe mica to make it sparkle a little bit like that. And then if once they got it painted on there, if they put something wrinkled down, I don't know what you would use in the 1930s, if you would use acetate or just silk or whatever, and just paint it and then lay your wrinkled fabric across it to kind of get this pattern in. I don't know. The research machine is in full effect right now. It is kind of a neat stencil. I mean, just a real quick look, all the frets are, I don't see any loose ends. They don't feel, I mean, I don't have any sharp edges. I would still, so here's the rub. They're a little sharp up here. No one plays here. And if you take a file down the side of it, especially up here, you're going to go from this color of metal to whatever the kind of pot metal stuff is underneath, and it's all going to stick out. We'll have to see. We'll have a nice long conversation with Jesse about what we find and what we suggest, and then we'll see. You know, we'll see. I mean, I have a pretty good idea what he wants to do, but we'll just have to cuss and discuss, as we say. And let's see, can I get down far enough? I can. Not. Now, let's see if you can see this. I'm going to hold my arm here and I'm going to wiggle this. See that? The whole neck is wiggling like that. And that's just, I haven't looked on the inside, I haven't put my hand on the inside. But if that's loose like that, it's probably not going to take us too much to push this out. Let's continue on down with what is most likely a water slide decal, maybe. Or it could just be a stencil. I mean, I don't, because I have a very definitive ridge over on this side, on both sides of it, and then I get over here and it's like not so much. So I'll take a look at that. It's all intact though, so that's nice. Let's keep on going down. This is the area where the bridge is at. You can see it looks like there are two lines. There's one there and there's one there. Lines that have been scribed in. Now whether that was done at the factory or whether that was done by, you know, somebody else over the course of time to mark the position of the bridge, if that's what that was, then that's interesting, because you'll notice there's a great discrepancy in the coloration from if that's what that line is to where the bridge actually ended up, which was about there. Let's turn that around. It still doesn't make a difference. It's still off by a considerable amount. And then let's take a look at this, at the tailpiece. This is just a piece of stamped metal. Now, process-wise, how they did that, this has a curve to the inside of it. Let's see if I can tilt it up. If you can see, yep, it's curved on the inside. The holes are all the same size. So if I had to guess, I would guess that they stamped the curve into this and then put it in a machine to get this into it. To get this, they'd have to turn it like this, and then it has to turn like that. So you got 90 degrees here, you got another 90 degree. Actually, it's more than 90 because it's pinched in here. And then on the end, it's just two simple flathead screws. Let's look at the side. Actually, I have to back out a little bit. Nothing terrible. I mean, it's got some nice road rash to it. Let's flip it over here. You can tell whoever played it right-handed, because there's a lot of wear on this side. And that, there is a crack. There is a crack that goes from here to about there. See if I can get the light and we can find it. There we go. You see it right there? And then if you look up here a little bit more, there's another small crack in it right there. Right here. You can see we're sticking out on the edge there. Now, who knows how long that's been like that. It doesn't easily press in, so and we'll go, when we look inside, we'll see if there's a brace up in here that's maybe pushing that up that direction. That, I would probably say that's been there a while. Stupid cameras. Now let's go big again, or at least not as tight. Nice big scratch right across here. That is hair in the finish. And who knows how long that's been there, but that's hair. Alright, let's get ready to go inside. Let's take a look at what we just saw. Alright, we're going in. Focus. Hey, it focused. Alright. That's cracked. And that will be right there. That one's good. That one's good. And looky there, kids. We got another tone bar. Interestingly, the bar that's here seems to be angled in the same direction that it was on the Lone Ranger guitar. So perhaps that brace wasn't slipped down and it was just that bridge plate that was. That all looks okay. No truss rod. That looks okay. That looks okay. That looks... Focus! Somebody's lost their granola. Is that gum? Man, don't let that be gum. Or somebody's plug. Chewing tobacco plug. Well. All right. Okay, so we've looked at it inside, we've looked at it outside, and right off the top of my head, what is the plan of attack? I don't want to take any of the mojo off of this. Dirt, yes, we'll get rid of dirt, but old, I don't want to get rid of old. So we're going to take, we'll take these off. We'll get those in some penetrating oil. In fact, when I put them in, I'm going to make sure that this part goes in the penetrating oil, and we're going to wait and test these to see what these are. I don't know. It actually looks like there might be some wood grain underneath some paint. Right, so we'll have to look at that. So that's step number one. We're going to get that taken care of. Step number dos. The neck already has some relief in it. Not sure what that's going to do when we get strings put on it. So we'll see about that. If there isn't one, we'll have to make a nut. This will probably be the tough part, is trying to get the goo, because there's a lot of goo on these frets. But there's not a lot of material at all. Already at 20 thousandths. So, can we get the grime off of there while preserving the paint, while getting enough of the grime off, and then we have to do it uniform all the way down. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is remove the neck. I don't think that's going to be too difficult. Knock on wood. Would be nice if the stupid camera would stop shutting off. Cosmetics. Do we even want to do anything to it? Other than getting the dirt off? Probably not. And then there are a couple of areas here where there are a couple of areas of concern. You can see here we have an issue. We got a nice belly going on right there. And that is not, that's not from string tension pulling up through the plate. Because on, you know, that guy, on the Lone Ranger guitar, we had a bulge in the top because of string pressures pulling up from the bottom into that failed bridge, like that, into that failed bridge, which then cut into the soundboard itself and was just, there was no support and was pulling it up like that. So we don't really have a pulling up here. What we have is the failure of this joint pushing down, and so that's where this collapse is coming from. This is probably easier to see it. Yeah, it's nice and prevalent over here. So, yeah, so that's nice. So we'll have to figure out what, if we can do anything there. Does getting this joint re-glued, is that going to help it? We'll have to see. We have a bit of a bow in our neck without string tension, so can we get that flattened out using heat and some clamping cauls? Probably. And then there are some edges here that I think need to be re-glued. So there it is. That's the condition that we have received it in. The pedigree is totally unknown. It was advertised as a Supertone parlor 1930s guitar. Is that what it is? I couldn't tell you. But we'll start digging. If I've been looking for a couple of days and I haven't found anything. If you recognize this, this is going to be the giveaway here. Is this and this painted pattern on with the stencils in the middle and perhaps the tailpiece. Although since Harmony was making Supertones, it could be a Harmony, it could be a Supertone, it could be a Regal, it could be a Silvertone. I mean, who the hell knows? So that's what's going on.
Hey, if you like this episode of Rattlecan Guitar Restorations, you might want to check this video out as well. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, consider stepping over to our Patreon page and giving that a look. Y'all have a good weekend. Cheers.